Hello and welcome.
I'm Jasmine Knapp, a cell biologist on the openScope Traveller team.
And I'm Fraser Montandon, an engineer on the openScope Traveller team.
Now that we've successfully assembled the openScope Traveller,
we are going to go through Brightfield imaging as an imaging modality in today's session. So we are going to cover starting up the laptop, popping your first sample onto the openScope Traveller, and being able to capture your first image in Brightfield mode. We hope that you find this video useful.
first, ensure that all applicable USB connectors from the openScope Traveller are connected to the laptop. Confirm that OF17 is indeed connected to laptop port P01, and that OF18 is indeed connected to laptop port P02. Connect the laptop to its power supply and log in using the credentials supplied in your manual. Next, launch the Micromanager software platform by clicking on its desktop icon. In the Micromanager startup window, select the default user profile and ensure that the hardware configuration file cellcam multimodal LED.cfg is selected before proceeding. The Micromanager control window will open. Insert an objective lens into the objective turret. It is recommended to start with a low magnification objective and progress to higher magnifications. Do not use immersion oil with any objective lenses except the supplied 100 times oil objective. In the Micromanager hardware configuration window, select the appropriate objective lens from the objective menu. Note that the objective needs to be updated manually every time you change objectives to ensure that the metadata associated with your image is correct. Verify that the filter cube position in the filter layer is set to the empty position, as demonstrated here. Carefully place a prepared sample slide on the microscope stage. Ensure that the cover slip faces downward towards the objective lens. In the Micromanager control window, ensure that the shutter checkbox option is set to auto. From the Micromanager camera selection menu, choose the desired camera device. Begin with the monochrome camera for most imaging applications. If you do need color imaging, for example if you're viewing histology samples, you may switch to the Rana camera. To select the monochrome camera, adjust the camera tilt mirror on the open frame to direct the optical path to the selected camera. For color imaging, push the slider to the left. For monochrome imaging, push the slider to the right. In the Micromanager control window, open the channel menu and select a Brightfield illumination source. We recommend that you start with mid-RGB, which will illuminate your sample with a combination of red, green, and blue light. Click the Live button in the Micromanager control window to begin live image preview. Two windows will appear. The first window is the preview window and displays the live camera feed. The second window is the histogram window, which displays exposure and dynamic range information. If the preview is overexposed or the histogram is skewed to the right, decrease the exposure as indicated. On the other hand, if no image appears and the histogram is skewed to the left, increase the exposure. You can change the appearance of your image in live view by adjusting the minimum and maximum display values shown on the histogram. These adjustments don't alter the underlying pixel intensity data, but instead alter the way that those values are displayed on your screen to enable you to better visualize the features of your sample. Once you've adjusted the exposure and the sample becomes visible, use the X and Y micrometer knobs to move the sample laterally. Bring the sample into focus by carefully rotating the Z focus knob. Do not allow the objective lens to contact the sample slide. After achieving focus, examine the histogram to verify adequate dynamic range without underexposure or saturation. Examine the minimum and maximum values displayed underneath the histogram, which give the intensity of the least and most saturated pixels. Remember, you want to maximize contrast and range, but avoid clipping, which is when you have pixels at the lowest and highest intensity values. Once you've optimized exposure, you're ready to capture your image. To capture your image, you can click Save on the lower right corner of the live display window to save the current field of view directly. Save your image using an appropriate file format, such as TIFF. Your sample name should include information about your sample, the date it was taken, as well as information as to the imaging modality. All metadata, including exposure time, illumination mode, objective lens, and other user-defined notes, are embedded within the TIFF. Always maintain at least 2 independent copies of critical data sets, and check your institution's data management policy to ensure compliance with storage duration, privacy, and sharing requirements. Congratulations, you've just taken your first Brightfield image on the openScope Traveler. The openScope Traveler team hope you found this video helpful. For a step-by-step guide on fluorescence imaging with the openScope Traveler, please view our fluorescence imaging video.